Welcome to F.O.S.T. I'm your host, Aaron Flowers. I hope you are having a wonderful day on this nice Tuesday evening. There's a lot to get into in sports. It's going to be interesting because we have some new updates. And thank you for coming to F.O.S.T. Splash. Interesting. As y'all don't, if you don't know, FOST stands for Fans Only Sports Talk. We're fans talking about the sport we love. We are not journalists. We are not beat writers. We're not one of those individuals that are getting that are paid professionals to actually do this. So any music that you hear, any stats or things that you see from the NFL or clips or anything of that nature is not copy. We don't have the copyrights to those things. Any explicit language, you might want to cover your ears or take your children that's under 18 away from hearing FOST. We are also on Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, iHeart, Apple Play. We are also on Amazon Music, so you can hear FOST any one of those. You can also catch us on Twitter um, from time to time, so you can hear us. Just type in FOST, and you'll see all the videos from FOST, all the sounds from FOST if you're listening to any of the podcast stations. I'm gonna just get into it. It's been interesting to see what happened in the NFL in week 3. We had some nail biters, we had some repeat of the same kind of plays. When you look at Philadelphia and the Jets doing the same type of play, what a coincidence that happened. And it was an exciting week, and there was a lot of upsets this week too. Some upsets that I didn't see coming. Some of my counterparts hadn't seen coming. And, this is why we like football. This is why we like any given Sunday. We love that phrase because any given Sunday, you can lose a game. And I felt that way in the first half of the Philadelphia Eagles game. I really did. Um, it didn't seem like we could run the ball, couldn't seem like we could uh, defend anything. The pass, we just looked baffled. And we had one interception that, you know, seemed like it started out the game and it was going to be our kind of game, and then went downhill from there until I seen Jalen Hurts do his thing, man. Like in the second half, Jalen Hurts was like, yo, bunk this. We're going to throw the ball to A.J. Brown, get our stars involved. We're going to throw downfield. We're going to run here and there. But that's the type of offense we were looking for all season. Like the first 2 games, I was expecting to see something like that because I knew that they were going to try to shut down the run. And so hopefully this is a wake-up call to Patullo, and he'll get those cats together for the next, stretch, because Tampa Bay is not a soft team. We don't have a soft schedule. This is a hard schedule for Philadelphia, not having back-to-back home games. You're on the road. I see that they are leaving out early to go to Tampa on Friday. Information leaked it out that they're going to Tampa to get used to the weather conditions down there, so that that won't be an excuse why they don't perform up to their potential. Breaking news out of Texas today that kind of has me thinking about our secondary for the Philadelphia Eagles. Breaking news out of Texas today: the Texans released C.J. Gardner Johnson. Now, there has been speculations about C.J. Gardner Johnson. Um, I'm gonna say this about CJ, and I don't know him personally, but as a fan and as I see his antics, excuse me, and I get some nice simply up in there. Um, from I see his antics, he is one of those rowdy kind of players. He's just going to talk his stuff, and so it's going to take a coach that can deal with that kind of fire, that kind of you know personality that is really outspoken. And so what I looked up, it says here from Aaron Wilson of KPRCT C2 reporter. Gardner Johnson criticized other members of the Houston, excuse me. Gardner Johnson criticized other members of the Houston secondary and was unhappy with his role in the team scheme. Wilson adds, without even 1 month in the books, the decision has been made on the on the team's part to move on rather than attempting to salvage this situation. Wilson adds, uh, a trade request was issued prior to today's cut. Team and player recently agreed to restructure with Gardner Johnson based on the salary of 2025 being reduced to the veterans minimum in exchange for um, a conversion to a signing bonus. The some excuse me again, somebody keep trying to call me and text me while I'm online. Um, Spread out guaranteed cap charges over several years, an indication this relationship would continue through at least the remainder of the campaign. Instead, Houston will take on a 5.66 million dead money charge for the 2025 as a result of this move. Okay, you have people that are in the locker room that adjusts to the locker room, and then you have CJ Gardner Johnson that wants the locker room to adjust to him. Um, it's not a bad thing, but you got to understand as a coach and as a player, you have to you have different personalities. And yes, are you trying to build a culture? Yeah, but if this guy doesn't fit your culture or your scheme of what you're trying to do, or not get the scheme, some other tabloid said that he didn't fit the scheme, he didn't understand what was asked of him, or he wanted to blitz more. He didn't want to do the too high safety. It is what it is at this point. Um, I thought I thought he was on IR because it was out some. I think it was in training camp that he was injured. Maybe that was a mistake on my part of trying to get that information. What they said that he was injured, so I thought that he was done for the season. Obviously, he wasn't, and I have not been watching no Houston games, Texans games. So that's on me. Um, and I apologize to the viewers to just think that he was on IR. From what I seen, that he was on IR, or he was injured, and so my thoughts was, dag, that is that is something bad for the Texans. I actually had the Texans going to the Super Bowl this year because of C.J. Gardner Johnson and their running game, but Texans wound up getting hurt with Mixon getting hurt, and some of their components not there. I have changed my mind. CJ Gardner Johnson's not fitting the scheme for the Texans. Uh, Maybe Philadelphia can sign him back or get him back. I don't know if that's something that Howie Roseman wants to do. I don't know if that relationship between CJ Gardner Johnson and the Philadelphia Eagles is tarnished so bad that he can't make a three-peat back to Philadelphia, because he got online and expressed how he felt about the whole trade situation. Even though he was under contract, they didn't have to pay him anymore or whatever. And so when I look at this situation, do Philadelphia need a safety? Andrew Makuba played well in one game, and I think that was the Dallas game, maybe. Got a sack, got an interception. Was it the Dallas game? Or was that it? No, it was the Kansas City game. Kansas City game, he played very well. And then he was a no-show in the Rams game. So don't know if it was scheme or not, but at least I know CJ Gardner Johnson knows the scheme of Vic Fangio and is willing to work in the scheme um if Howie ever wants to get him back. He's a hell of a player that you can't dismiss. CJ Gardner Johnson is a hell of a player, and he helped us win that Super Bowl uh, last year. He helped us during the regular season last year. So if you look at CJ Gardner Johnson, he is formidable force on the field. If y'all can get by whatever he's been saying or whatever his personality is, then you're getting a hell of a player. I like CJ Gardner Johnson. Really outspoken, um, really passionate about the game. He may have antics that is not becoming of individual from what people say, but for the most part, I like CJ Gardner Johnson. Um, the other thing with the New York Giants, wow, wow, they had an awful, awful, awful game when it came to uh, the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, um, and now it says breaking news: Giants to start rookie QB Jackson Dart for the next game. I know my boy Kai is probably upset after seeing this. Um, I don't know how true it is. It's coming from NFL Network. Yeah, 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 yeah. Um, Man, this to me right here is like you're starting the kid early, and Russ has won a Super Bowl. Russ struggled a little because due to the fact that his offensive line didn't give him time. There was some missed throws, yeah, and there's some throws that probably Russ shouldn't have tried to attempt. But in the same token, my guys in New York, the GM, head coach, seem like they're going to get fired. Yeah, if nothing doesn't change around with Jackson Dart, which I don't think will, they're gonna get fired. The GM should have got fired when he chose to move on from Saquon Barkley. Then you move on actually should have got fired before that. Should have got fired when he said, "I'm taking Daniel Jones over Saquon Barkley." Um, then they gave him a second chance, and then they said, "Oh, we're going to get rid of Saquon Barkley, and then we're going to get rid of Daniel Jones." Now, the interesting thing with this, y'all, is Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts are 3-0. 3-0. Danny Dimes has been balling out. Balling out. Why couldn't he do that with the Giants? That's a good question, right? That means that it was coaching, plain and simple. Just coaching. Saquon Barkley leaves the Giants or been let go by the Giants, then come to Philadelphia, wins a Super Bowl. Must be coaching. That's all I'm gonna say about that. As much as I I like this kid Jackson Dart, I think they're throwing him into the throwing sheep with the wolves with right now because due to the fact that Jackson Dart is still young, he needs to grow a little. And I understand you well how he's going to grow if he doesn't get on the field. Let him look at the growing pains first before you put him out there into those situations. Let him see how other players that he may be throwing to will respond. Let him see how the defense respond. Let him see how the offense responds. To me, I think that this move was not good. If Daniel Jones is to, I mean, not Daniel Jones, Jackson Dart is to start. Let me see. Like I said, you're throwing sheep to the wolves. That's what you're doing when you're doing. Yeah, and it says here, Giants to start Jackson Dart. Um, and we could be, we could be, we could be wrong. We could, we could definitely be wrong about Jackson Dart because we don't see him in practice. We don't see what the Giants is doing with him in practice to make them have this move. Uh, I know that they have Jameis Winston, and I guess they didn't want to use Jameis Winston either. And that to me is suspect. Like, what you bring Jameis Winston in there, another veteran quarterback in there, and you mean to tell me that you're not going to use him either? You're going to sit Russ, and you're not going to play Jameis Winston, and you're just going to go here straight to the rookie. And you're going to put this rookie against a Chargers defense that has been lights out. Lights out. Like you're putting Jackson Dart against Wolves. Like, come on now. Come on now. I can understand you starting him at the Saints game, maybe. Or after the Philadelphia game. Let's see who do they have? They have the Chargers, they have the Saints, they have Philadelphia. Chargers, Saints, Philadelphia, the Broncos. Then they back to Philadelphia. This is a rough schedule. I would not have started this kid so soon. I mean, that's just me. Like I said, maybe they see something we don't see. I'm not in the locker room and I'm not, seeing any of the footage on Jackson Dart. But what I am understanding is that you're saying that I'm moving on from Russ, who could have won that Cowboys game if you didn't have an offensive lineman that kept on jumping off sides and doing stupid stuff that cost them the game. The offense showed up that game. Now your defense didn't show up this game, or your offense didn't show up this game, but the defense showed up. There's no unison. That's all I see. The whole team's not playing as one unit. And it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad to see that they're not playing as a unit. But as an Eagles fan, we're loving it. We're really loving it. But my boy Kai, I know you're upset, bro. I feel you on this one. If Jackson Dart miraculously comes out and win against the Chargers, then I guess we'll all be saying, "Oh, we were wrong." Ah, another thing that happened that seemed to be an upset, but it wasn't an upset to me this week. Something told me to pick um, the Lions, and the Lions won. I mean, wow. The Lions won against the Ravens. Um, didn't get a chance to see that game, but I was kind of shocked because something did tell me that the Lions was going to win. That's why I picked my Lions and pick the Lions and in my picks. But I didn't think they were really going to win that game, but the Lions did, and so that helped me out. My thing is, I was looking at Stephen A's list, and I think he put the Lions at number 3 or number 4, something like that. And there's all these other teams that he picked, you know, that was undefeated. He picked Philadelphia as one, as deservedly so. But I didn't think that the Lions they lost one game, but just because they beat the Ravens shouldn't put them up there. But hey, it is what it is. And then Green Bay losing to the Cleveland Browns. No one seen that coming. Um, Jordan Love. They've been talking about this all season. What kind of Jordan Love we were going to see? What kind of person? What kind of player is he going to show up to be every single snap? It showed up. It showed up. It showed that Jordan Love is still in some BS stage, some buttery B, because trying to throw the ball in between 3 or 4 defenders is Jordan Lovish. I mean, um, just don't know how to throw the ball away, hold the ball too long. Got to get the ball out of his hands quickly, especially with a defense that have Myles Garrett on the opposite end. You got to get it out of your hand. And I understand that the Cleveland Browns defense is like that. It's like that. They're a pretty good defense. But in the same token, y'all have to make some adjustments, or you should already know that you can't hold the ball long and think that that defense is not going to get to you. The defense is going to get to you. They're going to get to you. And so, Jordan Love, I'm going to need you to throw that joint away. Do something besides taking sacks. But I think he'll bounce back this next week. He goes against the hurt heifer hose, which I call the Cowboys, the heifer hose. Um, goes against them next week with no CD Lamb. Dak looked pitiful. They pulled Dak out of that game with Chicago with 4 minutes and something on the clock. They was already getting blown anyway. But that just goes to show you that, there's a lot going on in Jerry's world. Now with CD Lamb's out, you got only one receiver. One receiver. He's a possessional receiver, which you got to get him the ball early. He's not like a downfield threat, but that's what made it have George Pickens on one side, CD Lamb on the other, so it can even out. But it's not even out. The math is not mathing. One of them are gone. Dak is struggling. Ferguson's doing his thing, whatever he can do. The defense without Michael Parsons crashed and burned. Crashed and burned. It's amazing to me how Dallas fought us tooth and nail and get blown out by everybody else. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna leave it like that. But that's also coaching, and this is also like I always say this the first 2 or 3 games is the preseason games due to the fact that the players really don't get a chance to play in the preseason. The starters don't. And so this is a preseason game. They got to get acclimated and they got to find an identity. You probably won't find an identity until week 5. But it made Chicago look good. Chicago looked really, really good. Caleb Williams was not sacked at all. He threw the ball on time. He made some deliveries that was really good. He threw the ball downfield. He scrambled out of the pocket. He did the things that he is supposed to do. And that Chicago team looked good against a Dallas Cowboys team. Plain and simple. But we will see. We will see. All right. Now, TMZ has reported cops tell TMZ that Rudy Johnson died by suicide in Florida just after midnight on Tuesday. Um, for y'all that don't know who Rudy Johnson is, Rudy Johnson played for the Cincinnati Bengals. Um, this is heartbreaking. This is this is heartbreaking. And being in the mental health field, me and Mr. Bryant, who is also my co-host that's on here, you know, taking too many blows to this here is traumatizing to the brain. The brain can shift. Brain, you think about it as I'm closing my eyes thinking about it. You play football most of your life, like from pee wee football to, you know, little league football to, um, let's say, middle school football, high school, college, then the pros. That is a lot of hits going to the head. Um, my prayers go out to Rudy's family, and I pray that they can get some comfort. Sorry to hear that, but we must take care of ourselves when it comes to our health. Um, it's so many, it's so much pressure to provide for your family, make sure that your family is provided for and what we sacrifice. But also, if you're not there, this is the thing that I want to get through to a lot of players. You mean more to someone alive than you are deceased. And so take care of yourselves first, you know, because they need you. They need you around. That son needs a father. That daughter needs a father. That wife needs a husband. You know, that nephew needs an uncle. It You affect the village. If you're not there, the village is missing a tool. It's just like you're missing a tool that helps keep the village together. And so I want you to put it in that kind of sense that you are a tool that is needed to keep the family going. And my thoughts, my prayers goes out to um, Rudolph Johnson and his family. All right, let's see what we have here. Ah, 49ers just can't catch a break, man. I mean, just can't catch a break. I know that my counterparts who are 49er fans are just livid right now. Breaking news. This happened some days ago. 49ers defensive end Nick Bosa suffered a torn ACL and will undergo season ending surgery. Wow. Wow. Now, some people think that uh, they can go after Trey Henderson. Which, mm, I mean, they could have went after Trey before this happened, but I don't think they can get after Trey now. Before the trade deadline, I think the trade deadline is coming up soon. When you'll see a lot of movements to improve your team. Um, I don't know if Trey Henderson or they're willing to trade Trey Henderson. Um, really don't, because right now the Bengals is in a situation where they don't have Joe Burrow. Um, they're working with the backup quarterback that really didn't look good last week and wound up losing the game. Um, to give up Trey Henderson to a 49ers team at this particular time, knowing that your offense is not going to look good. The only thing that probably is going to sustain you through the game is that one person that's working that line, and that's Trey Henderson. That to me is like wishful thinking. I mean, but to lose Nick Bosa, that that hurts. That hurts that 49ers team. You already lost Purdy. Now you're losing Nick Bosa. So you're missing basically two quarterbacks on the field. One on offense, one on defense. Niners get well, at least the one thing they got going for themselves is that they have one of the easiest schedules in the league. All right. Moving on to the Bolts, the Chargers. The Chargers head coach Jim Harbaugh confirms that running back Najee Harris suffered a torn Achilles. Uh, you know, and he will miss the rest of the season. Wow. Uh, but to piggyback off of that, yeah, he's going to miss the rest of the season for the Chargers. The Chargers is 3-0. And Justin Herbert was getting hit. He got hit 14 times in that game, in his last game, and he still kept on getting up, and he still persevered to win the game. My thoughts is this is a make it or break it year for Justin Herbert. Um, I don't know why I said Justin Field, but Justin Herbert. This is a make it or break it for year because he's been put on a pedestal for the longest, but haven't produced nothing. And so with Najee Harris, at least Najee Harris being out, is going to put a lot on his shoulders. But the thing with Justin Herbert is he has to stay healthy, he has to stay upright. And so if that's the case, Jim, you're going to have to call some plays to get that ball out of his hand a little bit quicker than you want to. I know you're looking for downfield plays and things of that nature, but in this case, you know, unless you have another running back that is going to do what Najee Harris did for you, and you probably do. I have not been watching those games, but um, rest assured, Justin Herbert is going to have to play lights out every game, every single day. Now, back to the Philadelphia Eagles, and I want to say Jalen Carter. All right, let's see this. This was a something that someone brought to my attention. Jalen Carter is wearing Jared Verse $100,000 chain and is are rumored to have. Let me see. Rumored to have both bet their chains on today's game. Wow, 100 grand. And I think they made a bet last year, and Jared lost that bet too. Jared Verse lost that bet too. So, hey, Verse, my suggestion to you, bro, don't bet, don't bet no more. Don't bet against the Eagles no more. Because it seems like you keep losing, bro. Keep losing. Yeah, look like you just keep losing, bro. Now, with CD Lamb being out, George Pickens is going to be targeted. And so that's going to be where defenses is going to kind of shift to what you've seen with any other teams. You're just going to focus in on that one receiver, um, and you're probably going to shut everything else to a minimum. Going to have to make somebody else beat you. And with the Cowboys, they do have other components in there, but the only thing that I can say is Dak is going to put those numbers up. Dak is going to make them look good. The problem is the defense is not getting any pressure. With Michael Parsons being gone, there is no pressure being applied for the opposite team. So if that's the case, we are going to see individuals win or in teams win because there is no pressure being given to the opposite team's quarterback. It is what it is. Um, they may make they may make some trades later on, but it is what it is. Like I said, it is the Cowboys. It's always with drama with the Cowboys, things of that nature. All right. I think I addressed all this. Another breaking news. Breaking news. The 49ers. Ooh, 49ers are back into it. The 49ers worked out free agent DB Shiloh Sanders today. Mm. So Shiloh got a chance to work out with the 49ers, a team where his dad was very successful playing. I like that kind of fit for them. I think they have the coaching to make Shiloh something special. Um, but we will see. We will see if they put him on the roster or not. But he was just working out with the Niners today. I want to thank Erica for giving me the information. I thought she was going to be on tonight, but I didn't see it. I couldn't get her up on the screen, I guess. Erica, if you're watching, sorry for messing you, but shout out to you, girl, for giving me that information. Um, Drew Brees was on the Stephen A. Smith show, and he gave his opinion about the Philadelphia Eagles offense. He didn't say nothing different than what anybody else thought or what they all seen before the second half of the Rams game. He said that watching Philadelphia's offense is boring. That may be true, but in the same token, Philadelphia's 3-0. In the same token, you do what you need to do to win. In the same token, some of his wins didn't look exciting. Some of those Saints wins that he had was boring too. Uh, everybody has their own opinion. Sometimes I find the Philadelphia Eagles offense boring because it's limited. And I think A.J. Brown said it just as clear. Just let us go. Let us go. Call the plays that need to be called in order to win the game, of course. But also put A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. Mix it up. Put Dallas Goedert out there on the corner. Put A.J. Brown against a linebacker. Put Devontae Smith against a doggone safety. Mix it up. They don't have to be X and X, all the X and Y all the time, going for go routes or one-on-ones. Mix it up. Get them involved. Do something besides the same buttery bull that you've been doing. And that's why I like the second half of the Rams game. But as an Eagle fan and as a person that loves football, it shouldn't take you to be now 19 points to show who you really are. Let that sink in, Patullo. Let that sink in, Sirianni. You're about to go against a team in the Bucks where the defense was good. Now, also breaking news, I heard that Mike Evans will not be in the lineup. He's hurt for the Bucks. So, look here. This is going to be an interesting game. It is going to be an interesting game. It's not going to be perfect. It's probably not going to be pretty. It's probably not going to be what we expected. Philadelphia struggles with this team. No ifs, ands, what's about it. We'll be delusional to say that Philadelphia does not struggle with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They do. Just like, any other team struggles with another. It seems like Tampa Bay has Philly's number when it comes to regular season games. Side note. Put this as a side note. Vikings quarterback Isaiah Rodgers. This sticks to me all the time. Isaiah Rodgers gets a fumble recovery, takes it back to the house for a pick six. Then he gets an INT, takes it back to the house for a pick six. And we say in Howie we trust. That's what they say. And I'm not taking nothing from Howie Roseman. I think Howie Roseman is one of the best or the best GMs in the National Football League. My problem with it is we can get overconfident and make mistakes. You let big play Slade go. You trade CJ Gardner Johnson. So I said, okay, if he's letting Slade go, at least we have Isaiah Rodgers, who, when he came in, was phenomenal. You let him walk out the building for $14 million or less. The talent that Isaiah Rodgers had was really good talent. He was a really good talent. he could have been your other lockdown corner with Quinyon Mitchell. Now, you let C.J. Gardner Johnson go. I was upset about that too. Um, but you brought in Andrew Makuba. Makuba seems like he could play, but my thoughts is this: it would have been good to have depth and had a leader. I guess you don't consider C.J. Gardner Johnson a leader because of his antics, but in the same sentence, we have to say he produces on the field. And so how you lead is by example. Um, when you see the interceptions, you see him coming down, laying the stick on those individuals. That is leading by example, you know, doing what he does well with what he has. And so when I seen the headline of Isaiah Rodgers having a phenomenal game against with the Vikings, I was like, man, I wish we could have kept him. Just wish we would have kept him. It would have made our job so much easier knowing that he would have been under Vic Fangio. He already knew the system, and that corner would not be a problem. Now we're sitting up here giving Adoree Jackson, who's hurt now. Keely Ringo really never shown no real, uh, no real insurance that he is one of those corners that you could leave on the island one on one. You know, and that's why we got to play so many different zones and coverages because due to the fact that we can't bring our safety down, because you got to help the corner, but it is what it is. Philadelphia finds a way to win, and that's one thing I love about my team is they find a way to win. Now, going to the Kansas City Chiefs, to me, and every sportscaster that's out there sees a difference in the Chiefs. Now, you could say, well, once they get Rice and Worthy back, they'll be a different team. Okay. And Patrick Mahomes been working with bottle cans and soda tops to throw to for some years now. And you Thornton, that kid keeps dropping passes like I dropped. I was getting never mind. Like I dropped crap from my behind. Let me tell you something. Y'all putting too much stress on Mahomes and not giving him the weapons that he needs is not helping him. Travis Kelsey just needs to retire. Uh, he'll make plays here and there. He'll get you hyped, but dog, you got too many things going on in your life. You just need to go ahead and retire. You're at that age. Go ahead and retire, bro. You got 3 Super Bowl championship rings. Go ahead and retire, bro. Because you're not really helping the team. You're not. Um, let me see. People are doubting Kansas City. Some people are Kansas City bandwagoners. So, oh, the dynasty is not done. The dynasty is not done. It's done. It's done. They have found a way how to beat Kansas City. And if Kansas City doesn't get that offensive line straightened out, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. It's definitely going to be a problem. So that's the latest in news for the NFL. Now, let's talk about these picks. This has been an interesting week of picks. Like I said, you'll see a bunch of upsets. Like, man, I didn't expect certain games. And I think I was the lone wolf one two of these upsets, and I actually won both of my long wolf picks. Woohoo! Go long wolf flowers. That's what I'm calling it. Long wolf flowers. All right, let me see. Let me pull this stuff up so y'all can see too. I'm gonna share my screen with you, just to show y'all how good and how bad these picks were. All right. Oh man. Let me put it on full screen. Y'all don't have to see me, but yeah, boom. Pull up this full screen for you. All right. And let's go bigger. And let's go over. Let's go down. Down, 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 down. All righty then. Our boy Mr. Becker did not put his pick in, and he only picked one game, and that was the Bills. So that kind of hurt him. It really kind of hurt him. After being 21-11, now he is 22-26. Come on, Charles, get back in the game, bro. Get back in the game. And Erica, our last year champion, she was 10-6, and now she's 32-16 for total. That's what's up. All right. And Wayne, he got hit hard today. He got hit hard this week. He got hit hard. He was 8-8. He's totaled 31-17. Wow. But he's still in there. He's not even in second place. He's in maybe fourth. Yeah, I think he's fourth. Um, then myself, I had an awesome, 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 awesome week. I was 12-4. The Lions helped me win. Who else helped me win? The Steelers. Aaron Rodgers. You must have heard my pep talk. Thank you, sir. Um, who else? That was my two. Some people picked the Texans. Um, I picked the Jags. The Jags did win. And man, let me see. And I think the Bills, the Bucks, yeah, all of them won. So that put me at 12-4 for the week, 33-15 for the season. My boy Kai had a rough one, 7-9. He's 25-23 for the season. Joe is still in first place. He had a little setback. Um, I think the Ravens game and the Ravens game was the biggest upset. And so he wound up losing two games. He was 10-6, and he still holds the number one place with 34-14. I think I'm on second with 33-15, and I think Erica's 32, and Wayne is 31, and Kai is 25-23, and Charles is 22-26. So, yeah. Now, for my counterparts, Please don't forget about Thursday night football, and also put in your picks for next week. Haven't started my picks for next week due to the fact that just need to know a little bit more before I make my picks. But yeah, that's what we doing now. That's what we doing. We doing the dang thing. We doing the dang thing. Thank y'all for watching FOST. Um, for those that don't know, FOST stands for Fans Only Sports Talk. You can see us every 6 or 6:30 on Tuesdays for what you see FOST Splash, telling you about the highlights and the things that's happening in the NFL and what teams and people getting hurt and all the other good stuff. Splash is just for news that FOST gives you throughout the week. And that's on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Then we have our crew come back all together. FOST's Fans Only Sports Talk will be on every Saturday at 6 to 6, maybe 6:30 p.m. Just watch us. You can come on if you feel like it. Have questions? Just hit me up on my inbox. If you're on Facebook, just click on uh, FOST or Fans Only Sports Talk. Look it up. If not, you can hit up Aaron Flowers on Facebook, and I will give you a link to hook up to FOST. For all of you that's out there that are struggling with mental health, please, please, please get help. Please get help. And I encourage you, today, talk to someone. You don't have to be an island on your own, and you don't have to let the darkness overtake you with feeling regret and loneliness. You can come out of your pit. You can defeat any issues that come your way. God bless, and y'all have a nice night.